University Indonesia. Yeah, so she will share her experiences in terms of doing research, yeah, how you can actually introduce novelty to your research, among others. And the next speaker that we have is Bapak Dr. Rama. Yes. So Pak Dr. Rama itself is an associate professor from Faculty of Administrative Science, University of Indonesia. He happens also to be a managing editor of an Indonesian journal called Business and Bureaucracy. Yeah, so he has a lot of experiences in publishing, and I believe that he will be able to share also his knowledge and expertise in this field. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with today's agenda. Yeah. So I think you guys were in the classroom this morning, having had informations about, understanding thesis by publication, how it is different from thesis or regular thesis. Yeah. So we are going to just remind you as well about what it is and how it differs. Yeah? And then later, Ibu Yana will share about selecting research topic as well as positioning your research and how to get your research ideas to a publishable paper. Yeah. And then later, Pak Rama will discuss about publication process and journal marketing as well as ethics and research integrity. There will be a Q&A session. Yeah, so if you have any questions in between, you can actually just maybe take a note of the questions first, yeah, and then you can ask it at the end of the session. All right, so thesis by publication. Yeah, so just to remind you, thesis by publication is basically a thesis that will eventually be published, yeah, whether it is in a conference, proceeding, or a journal, as a part of the graduation requirements. Okay, so BINUS itself recognizes two types of outlets. The first one is what we call as Scopus Index Proceeding, and the second one is Scopus Index Journal Article. Yeah. May I have, can you please raise your hand if you are aware about the differences between these two outlets? What is a proceeding and what is a journal article? Anyone? Huh? Sorry? Yeah, okay, you can answer. So basically, proceeding itself is usually a compilation of articles that people submitted to a conference. Yeah, so it may get indexed by certain databases like Scopus, or it may not get indexed. Index means it is listed and people can access the content. Yeah? Scopus Index Journal article is like a magazine article. Yeah, so let's say, for example, you write something and you send it to, let's say, a newspaper or a magazine. Yeah, so there will be selection processes as well when it comes to having our article or our research article to be published in one of these outlets. Yeah. Generally speaking, Scopus Index Proceeding is easier and it is faster as well. Yeah. However, it doesn't mean that we don't encourage you to also submit to any Scopus Index journals, yeah, if you are able to do so. Just be mindful with the timeline and everything, because you are also limited by the semester or the duration of the semester that you guys have. Okay? So far, so good? Yeah. Good. So in terms of differences, yeah, so this is by publication usually is more concise. Yeah. Some journals will require you to, let's say, submit about 6,000 to 8,000 word paper. Yeah, proceedings sometimes consist only of 6 to 8 pages, double column. And then for thesis, usually you have about 10,000 words, and it could approximately be 100 pages, including your references, appendices, and everything. Yeah. So article usually is a shortened version, a more concise version of your thesis. If you get published, yeah, your name will be there, obviously. Yeah, and it will give you global exposure as early career or junior researcher. Yeah, in Pak Rama's profile, for example, you will see that he has a H index of certain number. Yeah, that shows how impactful your research is. Yeah, so when your research is being cited by other researchers, it gives you a boost in terms of your reputations as an academic. Yeah, and then also there will be an early start for thesis by publication, because you will need to decide the topic first, you will need to decide the outlet that you are going to go for, as well as collect the data as soon as possible. Yeah? Both of them require two thesis defenses. Yeah? So we call it pre-defense and final defense. Basically, it serves as an exam. However, usually for thesis by publications, especially if you have the paper ready, the pre-defense and defense will usually serve as platforms for you to exercise doing presentation, as well as to give you feedback on how to improve your paper. Yeah? Whereas for thesis, regular thesis, usually you will be asked questions as well. You'll be tested in terms of your knowledge, yeah, making sure that you were the one who wrote the thesis, yeah, that you understood the concepts, for example, the research model, and so on. Yeah. So it can be also a bit rigorous. Yeah. So in terms of conferences, yeah, I guess some of us mentioned also about conferences under the IEEE organization. This is actually an electrical engineering profession, yeah, or association, basically. So therefore, some of the topics under these associations, conferences, tend to be a bit more technical. Yeah. So if, let's say, you were a marketing student, then you may have higher chance of getting accepted or getting published if your topic is related to, let's say, digital marketing or e-commerce. Yeah. Previously, we also had students with topics such as like electronic retailing and so on. Yeah. So there are a lot of options as well, but please pay attention to the scopes that they usually list on the website or on the call for paper flyer. How does it look like? Yeah. So this is one example of what we call as CFP, or call for paper. So the call for paper will list several topics. Yeah. Let's say, for example, for you guys who may not be able to see it from the back, let's say there is the business IT alignment, artificial intelligence, business process, and commerce, e-commerce trading, information system, and so on. There will be submission instructions as well. Yeah, so for full paper, for example, you have to be submitting at least 8 pages or maximum 10 pages, including everything. Yeah, if you write more than that or you submit more than that, some conferences will charge you extra. Yeah, so be mindful of the length of the article that you write and pay attention to the instructions as well. Submission method usually is online. Yeah, so they sometimes do have their own online submission system as well. Sometimes they use EasyChair, yeah? Sometimes they have this Z meeting and so on. And also be mindful of the template. Yeah, generally speaking, if it is IEEE conference, they have their own template that consists of 2 columns. Yeah. However, please just pay attention to all the instructions and the important dates as well. Yeah. The submission date is usually the deadline, and then the notification date is the date that you are going to be notified, whether your paper gets accepted or gets rejected. Yeah. And then there is also registration deadline, which usually takes place after you submit your revision. Yeah, so once you get notification that your paper has been accepted, then you have to do revisions based on the feedback from the reviewers. Yeah, so one paper can have maybe 2 to 3 reviewers, and they will pay attention to the content as well as formatting and everything, and you will have to revise accordingly. Yeah, so far so good? Still not overwhelmed? Okay, so this is also important. Yeah, I guess some of you also remember that the scoring or assessment is going to be slightly different. So thesis by publications will have a different set of rubrics. Yeah, there will still be examiners. However, most of or the weight or the highest weight allocated is for the status of your publication. Yeah, so some of you, by the time when you have to do your defense, for example, may have the paper already published, which is really good, which is the highest possible score that you can get. But some of you perhaps may only get the letter of acceptance a few days before that. Some of you perhaps are still in the middle of revising it and you haven't had a chance of resubmitting your paper, which may give you also slightly lower grade as compared to those who have their papers published. Yeah. So supervisor, be kind to them because they will contribute 20% of your final grade. Your examiners also try to impress them as much as you can, yeah, because they still contribute 10%, which can be a difference between A minus to A, yeah. And then this 70%, okay. So you will need to provide evidence that your paper has indeed received letter of acceptance, for example, or any other status that will guarantee you certain grade. Okay, this is an example, yeah. Because your supervisor will be your second or perhaps your third author, depending on the number of supervisors that you have. Usually you will have to write affiliations of you and your supervisor, yeah. If let's say you are from BMM, from Business Management and Marketing, this will be the way you write it. Yeah? And then you need to include your BINUS email. Okay? Include your BINUS email, don't just put any Gmail or any non-official email that you have. Yeah? And then after that, you can ask to your supervisor how you should put his or her name on the paper. Okay. So next, I will pass it to Ibu Yana. Yeah, so if you have any questions about my part just now, just take some notes, and then after that, we'll have a discussion at the end. Ibu Yana, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Elvila. And hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Triana Hadiprawoto, and you can call me Yana. And in the next, hopefully, how long do I have? 20 minutes? Hopefully, I made it all in time. I'm going to guide you through to the beginning of your journey in creating this thesis by publication, and hopefully, this will inspire you, and hopefully, this one making you feel away from the thesis by publication. So I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to help you. So use this opportunity to ask a lot of questions to make you have the clarity on how are you going to do this. So my session, I put this title, Finding Your Research Idea and Selling It Through Writing. And I perceive this writing a paper and publishing it like we are creating a product and trying to sell it. But instead of selling it in the store, we're selling our idea in written to reviewers, right? To be published in their outlet. So it's like to be featured in their store. How are you going to listing your product? And to be able to do that, you need a high value research so that it's useful for them to have your research in their store, basically. So let's see what we can do first. From curiosity to the concept. I'm thinking about idea generation and whether you have idea on what are the things that you want to research. So stop for a minute and give yourself a reflection here and try to have the self-audit here. What is the topic that sparks your interest naturally? What drives your curiosity? What is your hobby, maybe? What do you want to do after university? And how do you spend your free time? Let me just give a moment to reflect and think about it for a moment. And maybe you have some answers to do all of this or to answer all of this. Anybody wants to share? Do you want to share? Just because you make an eye contact with me. Oh, it's okay. You have no idea. Hopefully, by the end of the session, you will have idea. And that will be the difference of it. So I'm going to just hunt everyone down and see if you have any idea. Maybe from here?
I will help you, maybe.
You will help me, yes. Yes, please.
We'll try that.
You don't even have to say what topic do you want,
Just
but maybe
your
just
interest.
answer one of this thing.
For the topic that I want is actually like consumer behavior. So like I want to know something that how people build relationship from like a person to person relationship, and how I can apply it to building relationship from person to product.
Wow, that's amazing. You can get that until your PhD later on. So that's really good. So let's get it from from the back. And from the back, yes.
Which one?
The one with the hat,
With the hat.
of course, yeah. No,
Yeah.
don't say that. Just say, what do you want to do
Yeah.
after university? You also know I have no idea. Do you want to work? Do you want to make a business? Do you want to create your startup?
Continue in the family business,
Continuing family business. And which area is your business?
printing.
Printing? Okay, so thank you very much. So what I want you to think about is doing a research is such an intense process. I know it's probably only take how long for them?
A semester?
A semester, yeah, which is not actually 6 months,
Yes,
right?
not
It's probably
actually 6 months.
effectively four
4
months.
months,
Yeah. 4 months, it's quite intense because you're going to do everything by yourself. And I mean it, hopefully it's by yourself, yeah? That requires individual commitment and also discipline. But what I want to say is choose something that you're actually curious so that 4 months, you're going to stick with it. Choose something that you actually want to know so that you are committed to do it. You are happy, I mean, happiness probably a bit overrated, but at least you are willing to finish it, right? If you like shopping, then talk about and research something about shopping. If you like gaming, that's probably something about gamification out there. If you want to do business, maybe think about how that business relationship and others. So everything can be an inspiration for you, and everything, if you look carefully, gives you idea on what to research. And even look around the campus, see this building. We can even research why the color of blue sparks perhaps knowledge enhancement more than the color of red, because all of the seating here are blue, for example. Or what is the atmospheric cues that will enhance student experience? And then you think about the AC, the lighting, the carpet, the smell of the room. So everything actually has some potential to research. But it's not only about that, it's also about relating how that idea sit well in the current literature as well as the research debate. So that's what you need to see. That would be a great stepping point for you to think about, as one of your colleagues here mentioned, oh, I like to know about consumer relationship. And that consumer relationship is probably a good keyword for you to dig deeper into your library website or Google Scholar and see what are people talking about. One of the easiest thing is that previous researcher actually give them ideas about what to research under every single article. If you look at any article, there will be limitation and further research, which is where they pour their ideas and suggestions about what to research after their own research. So you know how to extend, you know how to innovate after their research. So it could be something like this, limitation and further research. It could be something about implications, limitations, and further research. And if you look at this, there are things that they actually said. Research could also examine different ways to create emotional appeals and explore when one type versus another is effective. So this is about viral marketing and how emotional content is creating engagement. So you get an idea, oh, maybe I should think about that. What are the things that triggers emotion and how emotion relates to effectiveness of advertising on social media. So you got that idea, and not only that idea is relevant and interesting for you, that idea is also very legit, because these are researchers that has been reviewed by their peer, have a great research, and they actually the one who said how to extend this research. So read and go around this section as well to get idea about what would be a high value for you to have. And then, again, researchers and other people, if you look at journal articles, they even have a dedicated article specific to tell you about what is or what are the future research theme. So instead of thinking, oh, I don't know, what should I research? I know I like things about a very broad research area, but I don't know exactly what I want to find out or what would be acceptable topic to find out. If you open your Google Scholar, just because I don't know if there's any outlet that you use specifically, but Google Scholar is really good. And then you type your research interests and research area plus future directions, you will end up getting papers that says something about what could have been done in that area. So this is when I type viral marketing, comma, future directions. This is the first entry. Viral marketing, systematic literature review, and future research agenda. And what is interesting is that they have lists of research questions already. So the research question is here, for example, what is the impact of customer perception after content goes viral? That's already one paper, right? What is the impact of brand awareness after content goes viral? That's another paper. And the interesting part of taking idea from an actual published paper is that all of the people that you try to convince in the peer review will say, oh, actually this paper contributing to the expression or enhancement of knowledge that has been set by previous researcher. So you're part of the conversation and it's clear where you can contribute it. Another thing is, I know probably this like journal is a little bit too much, it's a little bit too academic. You want to read something a bit refreshing, just go to a lot of report from consulting companies. They're very good at understanding the current business trend, or they have a very high commercial awareness of what is going on around the business. And in the business and marketing area, practicality and managerial implication is very highly valuable. Yeah, so when you have a research that tackles what is on trend at the moment, the reviewer will see the fit of that, and the reviewer would love to have your paper to be part of their assortment. So this is an example I got from McKinsey. They're talking about how AI, not in replacement, but also in enhancement of workers in the business. Will your business be enhanced by an AI or be replaced? So think about when we're talking to a customer service via chatbot, is it AI generated or not? Does it give a different influence, different perception? So that itself, again, a paper. So ideas can come from everything, but looking at which one gives you high value to make your research is accepted is the key, and also that would be the challenge. And these are the avenue where you can look so that you tackle at least the first step of that. And then what I want to tell you is, when you think about the research, think about feasibility. Is it feasible to be done and to be conducted within the time frame? A research, be it published in Thesis or published in an article, is gonna take you a lot of time to create a rigor research. So publishing in an article, even though it seems like it's only 6 pages, but the work behind that is the same. You publish it in 100 pages versus 10 pages, it's the same. If anything, publishing in a smaller and fewer words requires you a lot more thinking because you need to find out which one is the priority for you to write. So, time. Allocate a really good time. Think about what is the conference deadline. What is the amount of time it takes for your paper to get reviewed? Because it could be months. It could be weeks. So think about all of those before you know when you need to submit that paper. Look at the data. Can you collect the data? So I'm going to talk about data, skill, and access at the same time. Sometimes what makes it difficult for you to finish your research is because you don't get the data. How would you collect the data? What is the common way of collecting data? Interview, yeah, survey. You can also get actual data from company, for example, like sales data and others. And that relates to whether you have the skill to analyze it. Are you good at understanding nuances when people are talking? Then it's probably good for you to have interview because you can prompt a lot of questions, you can understand a lot of nuances that people are talking about. Or I'm very good at statistics or operating statistical software. So be confident taking that survey questionnaires. Or maybe, this is very practical, but maybe I know someone in a company that can give me data, and this data is objective sales data related to salesperson's effectiveness. Then you get that objective data because you have access to it and you can get it in a week. Then use that. So always think about the pragmatic approach on how you accomplish your research here. Because your goal is to graduate, right? There's a lot of ways. You can choose a difficult way or you can choose a moderately achievable way. There's no easy way. So it's between that one. So put feasibility in mind, whether and when you should start. I think you should start from what, now, yeah. The second one, once you have that idea, is how to create a high-value research topic. I've told you sources is one of the way to guarantee that you have good research. But also, let me take you back. What do I mean by high research value? What is a high value? In a product, a good product is the one that has a unique USP, right? Unique selling point. When it is allowing you to differentiate this product from others, then you're easily sold to that product. And it's the same like your paper. When it has certain unique selling point, then the reviewer also see it as, yes, this is a paper that I want to get into my publishing or my outlet, for example. And that can be a combination of all of these three. Either your research has methodological innovation, either your research address certain literature gap, or either your research have contextual contribution. What do I mean by all of this? So methodological innovation is maybe you read everything about consumer relationship and they're all using interview and qualitative methods. I'm going to try to tackle it from quantitative approach. So it's a new way of investigating the same phenomenon. Or there's a literature gap, and I'm sure you probably heard about this a lot. A gap or literature gap is something that you can find as a certain aspect of something within that research topic that hasn't been discussed anywhere else. So there are still questions that hasn't been answered. There would be a gap. Or there's a different result about one particular answer. So one is answering A, the other is answering B, and then you're like, oh, there's different argument here. So there might be something that moderate them. So that also a gap. There's also contextual contribution. As your colleague mentioned, this theory is usually only relationship between two persons. But what about the context of this relationship between human and a product? Or between people and an organization? Or organization and an organization? You're trying to get that context differently, or this is about emerging countries, and this is about another advanced economy. So that could also be contextual contribution. So think about that research idea and how you can contribute it, right? So that you can sell it. And that thing that you sell needs to be sitting in between research rigor and managerial implications, which means academically, you are contributing to the extension of knowledge, enriching the literature, but also because you're from business and marketing and perhaps, what are the other one? International business. You also need to create a research that has a strong managerial impact, which means that it's useful for the company. And when it's useful, when it's attaching or tackling the current issue, then it is valuable to be disseminated, to be presented to the world. So sit between this is another way to go. Now you have research idea, you know how to have a high value research topic, is how would you communicating? So how would you position it, right? Again, fashion brand, multiple. But you can differentiate which one is luxurious brand, which one is mass market. Or you can differentiate, this is my go-to for active wardrobe, and this is for casual and others. It's the same. So positioning is important. Once you have a good literature review, once you know what are the findings of your research, then think about what is the most interesting part of your research. Talk about it, discuss it with your supervisor as well, and see what is the most interesting part. And it might not be the direct relationship at all. It might not be about A influencing B, but what is the implication of that? Or maybe it's a variable of something in between. It might be some other things. It might be the grouping that what makes it interesting. And then where will your paper be in the existing world of that particular research topic? So you need to know what are the themes in that research area and where is your research going to sit on. Oh, it's contributing the theme of this blah, blah, blah. So you know you're going to position it only in that part of the research theme and understanding which gap you're trying to answer. So you know these are all about understanding which one is the biggest contributor of, biggest contribution of your research. And the way you craft this, it's like creating a story as well. Starting with the problem. So reviewer always like to get reminded by something that is tangible. So this is the phenomenon, this is the problem, this is what happened in the world. And then you say, but the literature doesn't say anything about this phenomenon, which is a gap. And then you give, therefore, this is our contribution to answer that problem. So making your topic is easy to understand, not only for the reviewers, but also your supervisors, your examiners, your collaborators is interesting. So this is one of the template that you can have, a placeholder for your thoughts. This study explores blah, 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 right? So that would be your research topic. In the context of, it could be fashion retailing, in the context of startup business, in the context of anything, to contribute to what are the theme within that research by doing certain methodological approach or by giving the answer. So you can exercise this when you have the story and then see which one you want to put forward. Because everything can be important, but not every important thing is interesting, yeah? So sometimes it might not be the obvious one. You have to see what's behind that. Okay, so now you got an idea of what you want to sell. It's time for you to write it down. And previously, your lecturer already seen and showed you that thesis and research paper has some slight differences, right? And I'm going to echo some of the things that has been mentioned before. This is going to be a long, but I think what I want to show you is that in the small, what we call small research manuscript or paper manuscript, you still have all of the sections that is needed for your reader to understand about your research. So will you find everything here in your thesis? Yes. And all of those are going to be found in your research paper as well to be published. Title, you got abstract, and this abstract, by looking at the abstract, your reader should know everything about your research. So there's no, it's not the time and place to tease and hold information and trying to, I'm going to try to make it mysterious. So they read more about my paper later on. No, abstract should be clear about all the things happen in the research. And then you have introduction. This is where you gauge their interest. Give them context why this is important. Give them context on why it matters for you to research about it. And then you need a good theoretical background and literature. And this is where it might be a little bit different than the thesis. If you think about the thesis has one big chapter of literature review, and then it might have another big chapter of, let's say, conceptual framework or hypothesis development. But in a paper, that would be very concise. And usually that framework and hypothesis follow the theoretical background right away. And because of that, you have limited room to give them too many words, so you need to be straight to the point. And then you have methodology, how you collect your data, how you analyze. Then you have the result to say whether your study is valid and reliable. You're familiar with these terms, right? So validity and reliability, that it is also something that you need to show off in your paper on top of the research results. And then you have discussion and implication. This is a combination on how you interpret things and how you link it back to theories and phenomenon to finally have limitation and future direction. And bear in mind that limitation is not something that is coming out of your design. So if you say that the limitation of this research is because it is only in Indonesia, no, that's not limitation. That's your research scope. Limitation is when we try to collect all of the population, we turns out have an disproportionate part of women versus men. Or people are mostly in urban versus rural. So something that is coming out of, not coming from your design. So you have all the elements, and each elements are very important. And I want to test and see. Writing for a thesis is very different compared to writing for a journal. And just by a glance, I want to see whether you can get the sense that this script coming from a thesis or this script coming from a journal article. I think some of the lectures already identified here, so I'm going to focus on the students. When you see this, It's gonna take some time for you to see and read maybe, but I'll wait. Who said that it is a thesis? And who said it's a journal article? Yeah, nobody. Everyone is so sleepy. I'm so sorry for you. Coffee is actually outside. Let's give a comparison, yeah? This is the first one. And then this is the second one. Okay, I love this because you start talking to each other, thinking whether your guess is correct or not. So who said, oh, okay, no. Which one is the thesis? Is it the first one? Which one is the thesis? This is the second one. This is the first. This is the second. Okay, don't be shy. I'm not teaching you after this, so I wouldn't know if you guess it wrong. So who said this one is thesis? Nobody. Oh, who said this one is thesis? Yeah, one we got. Thesis. Who said that this one is thesis? Okay, wrong. Yeah, wrong. So this one is thesis, right? So this one is thesis because, look at them. They spend so much in describing research design, something that is very broad. They're spending so much in positivism, which is research philosophy. They're spending a lot on trying to gather a broader information. But in the next slide, they're straight on to the point. We're doing this. It's about research in retail investor. We're doing it with questionnaires, and the questionnaires is going to be this, this, this. So you can see that there's a lot of clarity and straightforward writing in journal article. You don't need the badadam badidu, just trying to get your word count up, yeah? No need to spend that. You need to be very straightforward. So, writing for journals requires you to be able to share the clarity of your research. Straightforward because of what? As your lecturers mentioned before, you have limited words or sometimes limited page. You need to fit in what is usually and normally in the 100 page to be in the 10 page. So you need to scrape all of the unimportant. You don't need to mention or you don't need to define what is marketing. Like all those reviewers are people who study marketing all of their lives, so they don't need to be informed what a marketing is, but they probably need to be informed what are your variables are so that they know the context. So do not tempt it to report full documentation of your research. Even sometimes you just have to say, oh, we're adopting this from blah, blah, blah scale, and then put that scale into your appendix. You don't need the length to mention what are the scale, give a lot of tables. Sometimes yes, but sometimes it doesn't even have to be like that. You don't need to say that, oh, hypothesis is going to be accepted at 0.05. Everyone knows, yeah? Put it into the table, have a clear communication so that the space you have is being used to express something else. And be selective in theory explanation. This is what I meant. You don't need to tell them about what marketing is, marketing mix or 4Ps and others. No, because it's not time and place, unless that's your research, which I suspect wouldn't be too philosophical like that. And then technical tests may be briefly listed or even moved to an appendix. So you don't need to tell them that you put this variable into SPSS and then run and this, and then you tell them exactly step by step on why and how you are doing that SPSS. No. Sometimes you even say everything is following Hare et al. Standard of validation. That's it. But you show the result all in the appendix so that the reviewers will see that you've done everything correctly. So all of this, because it's not being communicated in the research paper, do you think you need to omit that from your research activities? No, not at all. The thing is, you need to do all of this just to say that we've done it. We've done it, everything is perfect, so let's move on. Basically, that's sometimes what you need to do. So in my time reviewing some of the journal articles, I can sense sometimes that this is a journal coming from students' work. And sometimes I can also tell why, because they're writing it really looking like a thesis being copy-pasted into a journal article. So when they spend so much in length trying to say what is a research design, what is the definition of quantitative study, qualitative study, that's when I know that they were just like copy-paste a script in their thesis and then pasting it. So writing like a thesis instead of journal paper is the common mistake. There's overly detailed on the background, methods, they include a lot of things that is within the textbook or something that is a commonly known and step-by-step data collection or lengthy pretest. Usually we don't even report the pilot test result. We only say that it's been tested, all measurements are done and valid and reliable, then this is the main test result. So you don't even have to report that. Weak articulation of research gap and contribution. What sometimes makes me confused is, who are you trying to contribute to? Which area? Because the research is rigor, the research is correct. It shows, yes, everything is good, but it doesn't give value to the knowledge, right? So gap must be explicit. Don't make the reviewer think about it themselves, but explicitly and clearly stated. There's also sometimes poor organization and narrative flow. So sometimes what is mentioned in the introduction is not something that actually mentioned in the findings. So there is no further connection between all of the section. Because you're writing it yourself, so you need to make the problem in a way that your research is answering that problem, right? If you highlight other people's problem and your research doesn't actually contribute on that, we're gonna be confused. So what's the point of doing the research? So make sure there's a good flow and chronological. And then methodological over-explanation or under-explanation. And I think this is where you need to see past publications of that particular outlet. If you want to publish in a conference of IEEE, see what is the common way of publishing there. What are the information they put into the methodological or any other part, and copy them. So not copying as in plagiarism, but copy what is the standard way of doing. Oh, they put this information, they put that information. I will also put these information and omitting others. So that's important for you to prioritize and filter which one will comes in. So I think that would be 4 common mistakes that I see, and I hope because I've shared it, you can try to avoid it and have a strong publication for your graduation. If you have any more questions, we'll see you in the discussion at the end of the session. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Riana, for the explanation. Very hard, right? Oh. These are I think this is a good checklist for you, yeah, you to when you want to publish your paper, yeah. So I'm the last speakers for these sessions, so I will tell you, yeah, what are the POV for the publisher inside. So just now, let me introduce myself first. Yeah, my name is Rama. Yeah, I'm from Universitas Indonesia, and I also currently managing editor for GBB. Yeah, one of the journal Ilmu Administrasi and Organization in Universitas Indonesia, and currently we are indexing in Web of Science and also Scopus right now. Yeah, so I will give you different side, yeah, different view of what the two speakers already given just now. Yeah, so yeah, back again. Again, why you are here, why you are writing, yeah, why you should writing, yeah. I think young people today likes to make some video rather than writing. Am I right? So why you should writing? Yeah, but because we are in the university level, so it legitimate proof of scientific of work. Yeah, by making academic product. Yeah, and knowledge synthesis by you are when you are writing your journal later on. Yeah, and also it's a professional development also, and being make some attractions. Yeah, so basically what we are doing in editorial level, we are searching for a good and the best, yeah, not good only, but the best paper, the best manuscript that already Dr. Hannah said, yeah. In managing, in our journal, the presentation of we are rejecting the paper is 70%, 75%. We are rejecting the paper. Yeah, I love my job because I just reject, yeah, paper, yeah. Why? Because there is no rigor research there. Yeah, there is the basic thing is there is no the paper is not following the standard, the format. That's the first rejections. So if you want to get a love letter, rejection letter later on, yeah, just make it not following the journal format. Yeah. The second one is there is no contributions, there is no gap. Yeah, there is no significance of the study. So what? Yeah, there is no so what. Why you want to write this already? This paper already write a long time ago. Yeah, so yeah, so we can reject it. Number 3 is methodology. Yeah, you did not doing the very good methodology, validity, reliability, yeah, and so on. How you conduct your research, yeah, and lastly, yeah, there is no something is make some attractions, yeah, when you are writing your paper. So, yeah, that's kind of paper that usually we are reject, yeah. Oh, very rude, yeah, very rude. But that's the how we do, yeah, yeah. In our journal, the article processing charge is free. Yeah, we are not charging the article because we want to get the very good article. Yeah, so the one who's very good article, basically, yeah, we have open access as well. Also, we have closed access. Yeah. So the research contribution I mentioned before, you need to excel in theoretical, empirical, and methodological. So what are your contribution in your manuscript, basically? That's the one we want to read. Yeah, is it the phenomena or the empirical base? is only in Indonesia and very unique, yeah. Or let's say one case, yeah, in Indonesia, we are a religious country, but the piracy is very high. Wow. Why religiosity and the piracy level is going high? It should be when you are being religious, the piracy level is reduced, right? So that's kind of empirical justifications, or what we would like to see. Wow, this is a very interesting paper. Yeah, so that kind of contributions you need to highlight. Yeah, and then yes, I also do agree. Yeah, what mentioned before, and do some literature review. Yeah, the more you read, the more basically you are mastering this area. Yeah, so you need to do some purpose of literature review. Yeah, this is the checklist. So do you know about this area? What concept of the theory? What research strategy? Are there significant controversy? Are there inconsistency in finding relating to this area? Are there unanswered research question in the area? So you need to double check on this as well. Yeah. And then the theoretical contribution in academic writing also, you need to gap spotting. Yeah, the one that mentions there is a gap, research gap in your paper, and issues from the literature review. Yeah, and also you need to be critical thinking development by positioning scholars who possess a very little knowledge in empirical detail. So you have to give and explain, yeah, your paper is giving contributions, yeah, in the theoretical contributions. So these are the key features of the academic writing. So there are argument, evidence, scholars, yeah, debates, critical analysis, objectivity, and precisions. These are we are looking for. Yeah, these are the things that we are looking, yeah, in your manuscripts. Yeah, and don't forget about the ethics. Yeah, this one is very critical right now because of development of artificial intelligence, right? Just now, okay lah, very easy. I want to use just AI later on lah. Yeah. So we have academic in ethical publishings, yeah, in academic writings, yeah. So first of all, you need to read again the publishing ethics there, yeah. Most of them is basically comply with COPE, yeah. So there are a lot of things standard there, yeah. You need to clear role in writing and authorship. Is it your data is using animals or, yeah, some sort of human being there? So you have to declare your ethics, yeah. And then you also informed consents, yeah. Is this data can be accessibly by other people? So there are the checklist of the ethics before you are publishing your article, yeah. You need to check there, yeah. And maintaining research integrity, you can use what we call plagiarism check, yeah. You use what we call Turnitin, maybe, yeah. So most journal, they want less than 15%, yeah, of the similarity, or 10% of the similarity, yeah. So you need to avoid that plagiarism, yeah. And this is the editor looking for, yeah. This is I am looking for also, yeah. Theoretically driven, strong integration, theoretical and empirical issues that are connected between the theoretical base and empirical base. Rigorous empirical investigations that Dr. Yana mentioned just now. the presentation of original and or salient methodological insight, and relevance to key journal themes. So every journal have their own themes. Don't just about e-commerce, so I just going in the journal in information technology. Yeah, 2 days or maybe 1 day you get love letters. Yeah, rejection, reject. So scholars here, yeah, we already face a lot of rejection, ya Bu, ya. Rejection everywhere, yeah. Rejection is our friends, yeah. But we are trying to improve, yeah, every day, yeah. Strong literature survey, important lesson of practice, stands out article and follow journal procedure. So if you follow this, most probably 80%, yeah, 70%, yeah, you can being accepted. But still, you still have a reviewing process by reviewer, yeah. So, yeah, that's life, man, yeah. Okay, so can we use AI to help you to write a manuscript? So, based on our discussions, I going to Malaysia a couple of months ago. I meet a lot of editor in Springers, in editor in Elsevier's, yeah, it's good publishers. They found that you can use AI in ethical, but just for finding a research gap. You can use that, yeah. There are tools, yeah, a lot of tools you can find a research gap there, but not to write. Making our question gets more profound, not seeking the answer, yeah. Information snowballing, if you want to know more, just want to, yeah, get some ideas, yeah, but you still need to read and improve the writing language. Also, still, this is the, what we call scope, yeah, if you want to using an AI. The rest, you need to write by yourself. Every single, what we call single sentence, yeah, is it the paragraph is connected or concise, yeah? So you need to double check by yourself, yeah? Don't to rely on technology, my friend, yeah? You are the one who publish. When you are published, you get more satisfactions, yeah? Yeah, maybe this is hard, but when you publish, in the first time you are publishing, yeah, you want to publish more article. Am I right? Yeah, doctor? When you publish the first publishment, you feel excitement, right? You want to contribute more writing because this is the way we want to spread our knowledge, yeah? So do not ever use ChatGPT because ChatGPT often generates fake citations. Don't rely on this too much, yeah? And somehow they are also, I can differentiate the one who use AI, the one who they're writing themselves. Because AI, they are kindly like bluffing, yeah? Or what we call, yeah? Just only general, yeah? General things, yeah, not specific, yeah, when in terms of writing, something like that. So this is language and linguistic. You can use also Grammarly, or maybe you have Quillbot for proofread sometimes, yeah. So where to publish? So a lot of index publishing, yeah. But I think in BINUS, we standardize in Scopus, right? Not in Web of Science? No, yeah, Scopus. So, do you know Scopus, right? No? You have? So this is one of the international indexings, yeah, that accepted with all over the world for all scholars, yeah. It's basically from Elsevier. So they have a kind of indexing. The journal is specifically, the good journal, yeah, will need to process some of steps to get indexing, yeah. So they need to have, they have different, diverse editors, they have diverse authors, they have specific themes also, yeah. So this is very good journal, yeah. But we have also Web of Science also, yeah. This is also the same. In Malaysia is Web of Science. In Australia, Monash, Australia is ABDC, yeah, same. But the what we call the tier, yeah, the ranking quite the same, yeah. But they have different of indexing. So international indexing, we have high expectation with strict rules and rigorous re-evaluation mechanism. That's the difference. Why we get a good index? Because we have high expectation with a strict rules and rigorous re-evaluation mechanism. Wow, yeah. That's the difference between a good publishers and no, yeah. The one is we have also, yeah, the other side of the international index we call as predatory journal, my friend. Yeah, so I will let you know later on. So this is the literature that you can get from the good publishers. I think BINUS also have the same what we call literature, finding a journal reputation like ProQuest, Emerald, Science Direct, yeah, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so a lot of journal there, yeah, and literatures for book also you can use this one, yeah. So how to identify your journal target, yeah? How to identify your journal target? So the first one, you need to identify the origin of journals, yeah, and check the indexation of the journal that it has claimed. So don't rely or don't don't just see from the website, from the journal only. So you need to double check, yeah, the journal whether it's still indexed by Scopus or not. So how you check? You go to scopus.com, yeah, www.scopus.com, and they will search by article or by publisher. Then you check. If this journal still have publication years and also the length of indexation until 2025, so they are still get indexations, because a lot of journal they overclaim, my friend, they overclaim, or they are trying to give a fake certification there. So you have to be aware, yeah. So you need to double check whether this journal is appropriate. If you select a wrong journal, there will be, we call it as predatory journal. You know predatory? Predator? They just want only your manuscript and your money. Your money. They will give you a love language. Let's say we can publish you by 2 weeks, by end of this month, by giving us like paying like $5,000, like say, for example. Yeah, a lot of journal. Yeah, is it? Am I correct, doctor? Yeah, a lot of journal right now is want to get your money and want to let's say publish in this very short way. So be careful on that. Yeah, check the peer review process. Check the peer review process. Is the journal have a good peer review process, yeah, and good editors, yeah. Beware of the APC. APC is article processing charge, or the charges of the journal. So some journal there are no charges, zero APC, yeah. But some journal they need to pay. Is it, let's say if we pay, is it good? Is it bad journal? No, yeah. Some of the journal like Elsevier journal, yeah, like Journal of Innovation, something like that. They give APC like $1,000, but they can ensure the peer review process is transparent and very good in rigorous, yeah. So you need to check, yeah. But there is a lot of journal you still need to pay, but they have a good peer review process, yeah. Every journal has its style guides and aim and scope, yeah, what is the journal is trying to accomplish in the field of study and how journal will accomplish it, yeah. So this is the journal process diagram, my friend. Yeah, mostly like this. You submit and there will be a screening process by the editor first, whether the journal is rejected or proceed to the peer review. So if rejected, just reject, yeah. But if you find a journal, when you submit, you publish, there will be a predatory journal. They want your money. Is it indexing? No. Yeah, so be careful on that. So a good journal, yeah, there will be a screening process, there will be deciding a pre-review, and this one takes quite a long time, maybe 3 weeks, or maybe screening process around 1 month perhaps, and then deciding peer review. Peer review also need to have time, yeah, for the reviewers, and the reviewers not only 2, yeah, sometimes 6 reviewers. Oh my God, 6! It's like slapping your head and kicking your back and so on and so forth. Yeah, they review everything. Ooh, a lot of reviewer. Yeah, Dr. Hannah said they review also. Yeah, you are a reviewer also. So maybe 4 of reviewers. So it will be taking like 1 month, 2 months or 3 months for reviewing. 2 months, yeah, perhaps. And then the manuscript will be going to you again, yeah, and you will need to revise whether you are in minor corrections or you are in major corrections. Minor should be very less time. You can revise later on, maybe 1 month or maybe 2 weeks. You can do some revision. But major take a long time. Yeah, maybe 1 month. You need to recalibrate again your paper, your manuscripts, your words by words, and then revision checks. And let's say it's already comply with what reviewers wants, then you can get to the layouting process, and after that we will do some check in your language. Maybe you need to proofread your manuscript, then we can publish your paper. So how long does it take? Around 6 months? 6 months? Yeah, around that. 4 months, 6 months, yeah. It depends on your manuscript. If your manuscript is good, there will be like 4 months, 5 months will be nice. But then I saw in BINUS, you can also use you can submit by attending the conference, right? The proceeding just now. International proceeding. So this process is more fast, yeah, rather than you just submit regular journal, yeah. My paper wait until 2 years for publications. 2 years, my friend, 2 years, yeah, but free, yeah. 1 years, yeah, it's okay, right? Yeah, it's like waiting some apa ya, gitu ya. All right. So this is the predatory journal warning signs that I mentioned. Not being transparent about publisher identity and locations. When you try to search in, let's say in some of part of the world, there is no countries, yeah. Let's say in India, yeah, and whatever, yeah. So you have to be careful on that. Boosting an unofficial or fake journal impact factor. So you need to double check again in the Scopus.com. Falsely claiming to be index PubMed Scopus on WAS. Nah, this one, yeah, a lot of journal, they just falsely claiming. Sending a spam email. Yeah, you get some spamming email? Yeah, when you are publishing or you want, right? So be careful on that. Promising acceptance decision with a very short time period. 1 month lah, 1 month. No, there is no such we can guarantee that, yeah. Lacking name editor-in-chief with academic credential and having website riddled with the grammatical error and broken list, yeah. So check, yeah. Is it grammatical error found in the previous publisher or not? If not, so you have to be careful. Yeah, this one is a big issues right now because it will cost you the academic reputation for BINUS if you wrongly submit your journal. Is it? Am I correct? Yeah, yeah. Academic risk, you know, academic risk reputation. It's happening right now. Yeah. Some of university in the red flag area. So be careful on that. Maybe later on head of department will be cross-check, yeah, everything. Don't submit in the wrong journal. Yeah, it will be cost reputation, academic reputation for the BINUS itself. Yeah, so this is the tools that being used. Yeah, Bellis, yeah, Cabell's predatory report. You can check the name of the journal itself. Yeah, so determine the quality of journal, check the past publications, measure a journal impact, pay attention to journal policies, yeah. And this is same, yeah, like journal indexations, yeah. So who are the editors? Editors is not old like this, yeah, basically, but the one who profiling your editorial boards, yeah, the journal you publish to, and you will check, yeah, the track records, the affiliation, and the one who accepted or rejected your journal as well, yeah. So you can ask also the publishers which volume, yeah, you need to know your journal, ask them, you can get some announcement there, yeah. And then, yeah, you need to check the aim, scopes, and focusing, yeah, that related to your study as well. Yeah, this is the example from the Sage Journal, yeah. They have aim and scope in economy, organization, and society, yeah. So the one who research on, let's say, edition work, yeah, something like that, you can also submit to this journal, yeah. And referencing style. When you reference, also you need to check whether it's comply with the standard of the journal. Sometimes use APA style, sometimes use Harvard style, yeah. Check. You can use also some tools. You can use like what we call tools untuk referencing, Mendeley, yeah, something like that. Yeah, you can use that also. Writing framework, yeah. Now this one also that I mentioned. I think Dr. Yan also mentioned. You can also publish with a review article. Yeah, so you can learn about reviewing article. Yeah, there are also literature review. We can use some of methodology if you want to do some review article like systematic literature review, yeah, scoping review, yeah. So it's not fully finished for the research, yeah, but in terms of only your reviewing paper, you can also publish. But again, you need to get confirmation with your supervisor, yeah. All right, so this is the framework. Yeah, mostly journal with use IMRATE framework. Yeah, there will be title, abstract, keywords, introduction, methods, result, discussion. So introduction we will say why. Yeah, methods is how, result is why, discussion is so what. Yeah, so this is what things that we see, we read about your journal. Yeah, so keep calm and study hard and push your ambition and motivation. So hopefully you won't get rejection. But if you get rejections, yeah, don't what we call, don't. You need to push back again. Yeah, you need to keep keep your motivation, your spirit, and do some revisions. But because of me as a writer also, when I get rejections, I get also the reviewer comment, right? So the reviewer comment is the things that I can improve that I can use for improving my manuscript. Yeah, so that's why you get apa namanya positive insight from your manuscript as well. Yeah, so best of luck, my friend. Yeah, see you. Hopefully this year's or next year's you can graduate and publish a very good journal. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Bu Dr. Yana, as well as Pak Dr. Rama, for your insightful explanations on publishing as well as writing a journal article. We still have about 10 to 15 minutes for question and answer. So while we are here, feel free. You can also ask specific questions to a particular person, for example. Go ahead.
Okay. I think we can have 2 or 3 questions before time break. Any question maybe regarding public? I think in the class previously, a lot of students interested to make publication, yeah? Thesis by publication, Bu Adilla. So maybe any question regarding thesis by publication? Let's go.
Should I call the name?
Should I go?
Kenny?
Yeah, maybe Kenny wanna go? Sorry, Diana.
Okay, so Miss, I heard from Sir Sukma for the publication you can also do like secondary or like primary.
Uh-huh.
So is that like a choice that we have? Like we can either do the replication or we can like propose our own research model?
Yes, you can choose either one. Yeah, a replication doesn't mean that it has to be either primary or secondary. Usually we use both still, right? Just make sure that it is empirical research. Usually for undergraduate level, we suggest empirical research first, yeah, in which you test hypothesis. Yeah, but in terms of research model, you can replicate it from somewhere, or you can do synthesis, for example, or you can do inspired research in the sense that you actually take examples from variety of journals and then build your own research model. Yeah.
So we could just like take a study done like abroad and apply the exact methods like in
Yes,
Indonesia.
yeah.
That could
So
probably work.
perhaps later Bu Yana or Pa Rama can add. Yeah. You may remember the types of contributions, right, that have been mentioned, which are like, for example, theoretical, managerial, and contextual contribution. So for example, if you move the research context, let's say from US or from China to Indonesia, then your contribution will most likely be contextual contributions. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss.
Anything else? Okay.
Michelle, maybe? Something to ask? Have. Okay.
Okay. Dennis? No? Sila?
Okay, so I would just like to know for the conference proceedings, I would like to know what is the timeline or the procedures on how it will go forward, because I don't think we've discussed that topic yet so far.
So would anyone Maybe Pak Rama would like to perhaps explain about the process for proceeding usually. Yeah, proceeding.
Conference proceedings. Okay, you would like to submit your conference proceedings? Yeah. So yeah, basically conference proceeding, we have several, yeah, like IEEE, yeah, IEEE something just now, yeah. The one that the Scopus Index, yeah, the conference Scopus Index, yeah. So, but it's very limited basically for the proceedings because most of them for the process of submissions, yeah, we need to comply with the conference system, yeah. First of all, we need to submit the templates, yeah, with the proceedings itself, and then we need to if get accepted registrations, and then you move to the presentations, yeah. So you need to present your paper, yeah, with all the participants, the international conference participants. Then you will get feedback, yeah, you will get feedbacks, and then after your presentations, maybe you can also do some revisions in your paper, and then you resubmit the paper, yeah, with the conference proceedings, and then there will be time, let's say like 3 months, yeah, before the team will be checking your manuscripts, yeah, and then if still have revisions, they will come back to you the paper, and then you need to do some revisions, and then you just need to wait until the paper is published. But the thing is, the conference, it should more specific. Let's say IEEE, I think is more towards information technology, if I'm not mistaken, digital technology, electrical, AI, some sort of that. So, in the business students, you need to synchronizations, yeah, your topic with the theme of the conference itself. So let's say if you talk about marketing, so you need to, let's say, talk about metaverse, yeah, Roblox, yeah, oh Roblox, that one is very hype right now. Metaverse, yeah, what we call virtual reality, augmented reality. So the one it's the topic is very sexy, then you need to submit there. So you need to comply also with the theme of that paper of the conference. Yeah, maybe Mariana, you want to add something?
Sorry, what was the question again? Is it the process or?
The process, like how are we going to conduct the proceedings?
So how are you going to submit until you got accepted? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know how long it would take.
Okay, so the nicest part of submitting a paper to a conference, for that paper to be a conference proceeding, is to get a clear timeline. Because sometimes, and I think you have the slide there, Bu, yeah? Let's see the slide. And this is the nicer part of publishing a conference proceeding versus publishing in the journal outlet. Because journal doesn't tell you when they're gonna decide, but conference will give you a very clear information about it. So there is this important dates. So whichever international conference that you want to target, please note down these important dates. These dates tell you when to submit, when you get notification. And I guess that letter of notification can prove whether they got accepted or not. And here, from August, and then you got notification in September, which means only 1 month, yeah? So very efficient here. So August 10, 2025, and then you know by September 10, 2025, whether you get accepted or not. So in a conference, once you get accepted, you need to confirm whether you will come to the conference or not. And sometimes your appearance in the conference and your presentation during the conference will dictate whether your paper index and publish in their proceeding or not. So also think about that, whether online presentation is okay or you have to be there, which means that you have to fulfill all the process participating in a conference for your paper to be published in their proceeding. Does that make sense?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, so you get a month waiting for the confirmation, but then September and then October, which is another month for you to register, but you need to see when is this actually going to happen. So that would be another timeline you need to fulfill. So one is the submission date, notification date, registration date, and actual presentation date. Usually, once you agree to all, then you know for sure that you get your paper published. But I guess the university will accept and understand your status based on the notification on that. Yeah, so conference is really good, and just collect a lot of information about a lot of conference to know when is their deadline. And if you don't know when they're going to do the conference this year, look at the previous date. They usually only deviate a month. If last year they're doing it in September, most likely it's going to be in September again. But just I think it's good for you to collect all of those data. Thank you.
Okay,
I hope
thank
that
you.
helps.
I think I just want to add a little bit. So basically, guys, if you chose to publish in conference, basically you can check the important date. So can be different. So let's say Hassan chose this conference. So Hassan, if you start your thesis on January, meaning that August you have to submit. Meanwhile, maybe Aristio will choose another conference. Maybe let's say submissionnya July ada. So Aristio should start maybe December, then start January, February you have to submit. So it will be different answering your question. Jadi if thesis regular guys, you have the same deadline yang regular following thesis Senayan, but for the publication track, because you aiming different outlet kan, conference Aristio could be different with Hassan, Hassan could be different with Kansa, so you are the one who has to know the date. Do you remember? Okay, so for example, but mostly conference, the first first wave of conference usually start May ya, Bu Adilla, Juni, July ya, the first waves of conferences. Usually June. Yeah. Yeah, already. Yeah, so yes. So you have to have your own timeline. Yeah, so usually majority the first wave of conference around June, July. So you have to like pull it backward. So when I have to start and then finish. Yeah, okay. Hope that answers. So just close communication with your supervisor and you have to looking by yourself of the outlet. Outlet publication of the conference. So you are going to have the dates. Hope that answers clearly your question. Yeah? Okay.
I think I would also suggest, for you, if let's say you are concerned about the funding or any kind of financial resources that you have to spend, choose a conference that allows you to do it hybrid or online. So you don't have to go there, especially if it is international conference, because you have to pay for your flight, ticket, visa, and everything. So it's going to be quite costly. So a conference like this usually has information on the website, whether you can do it virtually or whether you have to be there to present. So that is also something that you have to be mindful of.
And it has to be Scopus.
So for this, if you can see over there, there is actually information how it will be indexed in Scopus. So that gives you assurance at least that there is already a statement from the organizer that the conference proceeding is going to be indexed in Scopus. Okay, anything else maybe?
I think we have one more, Hassan.
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle? Okay.
Email,
Yes. Enggak.
What if we get rejected over and over again for the conference? Can we like move to submit the journal?
You can resubmit it to another conference, or you can submit it to a journal. But journal usually takes a bit longer time. So if you are in a pinch in terms of time, it's better to submit it to another conference. Yeah, so usually we will suggest several conferences. Yeah, your supervisor may have options as well. Yeah, so be in close communication with them as well to know which one to.
So should we submit to like several conferences?
Ethically speaking, it's not very advisable. Yeah, but maybe later either Dr. Yana or perhaps Dr. Rama can provide suggestion. Usually, we advise you to just submit to one outlet at one time, and only after you hear the news or you get notifications, then you resubmit it somewhere else. Yeah. Paper, if you want. Like for example, one paper has 5 variables, another one has 6 variables, so you alter it. Yeah. Or otherwise, if you are really in a pinch, maybe maximum 2 outlets, but you have to withdraw it as soon as one gets accepted. Yeah.
Usually, how many times do like students get rejected?
Based on our experience, usually we were quite lucky last semester because everyone actually got accepted. Yeah. So fingers crossed. But as long as you actually get everything done, you pay attention to the template and everything, like what Dr. Rama has said, you have higher chances to be accepted. Yeah. So just conference usually is easier. Yes.
As long as you fit the theme.
Yeah. So pay close attention to the call for paper information. Yes. Sometimes my student was also a bit lucky because her paper was on entrepreneurial intention, but it got accepted to an IEEE proceeding. So I guess it also depends on the quality of the writing. Yeah. Yeah. Just try harder and pray harder.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Maybe one last question or anyone from the Zoom? No question from the Zoom. Yeah. Okay. No question? All right, if there is no question, thank you so much, Bu Yana and also Pak Rama. And we have a bit of token of appreciation. Yeah, I guess for Bu Yana, Bu Ami can actually pass it. Yeah, so you get to play your part as well. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you again, Ibu Dr. Yana and also Bu Ami for giving the token of appreciation. Next, we have Pak Dr. Rama and also Pak Sukma. Please do the honor of Okay, thank you. Pak Rama as well. So later, files di depan. Okay, so we'll take one more picture together. Yeah, so.
Adilla, ada attendance, coba mereka isi dulu. Nih ya. This one? Terus yang attendance? Yang mana? Attendance? Yang link tadi. Iya. Maka Kak coba. Kak Rama, thank you. Bu Yana. Thank you ya, Bu Ira udah diundang. Ini dulu attendance. Guys, so for the one who haven't filled the registration link, just make sure to fill it, the registration link and also the questionnaire. Ya, ini this is the questionnaire. Nanti bisa juga di plus by kasih. Okay guys, this is the questionnaire barcode. Please kindly help us to fill the questionnaire linked. Yeah, for the registration, I think I saw already some of you already fill it in, but for the questionnaire, please help us. Yeah, thank you everyone for today. Hope today workshop is benefiting for you. See you around in campus. Yeah, bye bye.